Hello, my name is Geraldine Begg. I am the Tech and Housing Programme Coordinator, and I want to take just 10 minutes to give you an update on what the Tech and Housing Programme is all about, why it matters, what we've been doing, and what we're doing next. So, let me first of all draw your attention to our website. That's www.techhousing.co.uk. Our website has lots of case studies relating to the projects that took place in the first phase of the Tech and Housing programme called Tech Ready, which ran from 2016. So please take a look at that, and that will really give you a good flavour for the kind of innovative work that has already been going on within the housing sector. COVID has really reinforced for everybody the importance of using technology, whether that's to stay connected to friends, family, to access services, to be able to have more control over your home environment, being able to turn lights off and on, using your voice instead of having to have somebody there with you, having your medication prompts so that you stay fit and well, being able to get help in an emergency, having hobbies, managing long-term conditions. All of these things are things that housing providers can support with by introducing technology or signposting their tenants further on. So two key documents that are involved in our Tech and Housing are the Scottish Digital Health and Care Strategy, but also Housing to 2040. So this is really looking at the blueprint for how housing is going to be carrying out its business over the next 20 years. And technology is a theme, a very strong theme within that. So the Tech and Housing programme of work is across all of housing. So that's private, owner-occupied and socially rented. However, our focus is on these social landlords and tenants who are living in socially rented accommodation. So why? Well, predominantly because if you look at the graph here, you'll see that over 70% of people living in social housing are living in SMID categories 1 or 2. So from that, we know that they have the greatest health inequalities, greatest challenges in relation to accessing technology. And so a really strong focus is needed to readjust that balance. Also, you'll see that within the socially rented section, there's the highest percentage of people who are living with a disability or a long-term condition. So I came into housing in September and I've learned so much about social landlords and really what puts them in a unique position to support their tenants. And so just to share with you for your learning, if you don't already know, social landlords are known as community anchors. They have a strong ethic to put tenants at the heart of their services. They have a responsibility to provide services to support well-being. Some of them also provide care services. Most operate in patches, so they operate really locally and really know who their tenants are. Some are specifically looking at surveys to find out more about who their tenants are in terms of their well-being, in terms of their support needs, to get a really good picture to be able to inform their service delivery. They're responsible also, of course, for designing and building new homes, and inclusive design is really important in that, because without having the technology and the infrastructure built into the houses at that stage and engagement with tenants at that stage, then we won't have houses that are fit for people to age well in, that don't require lots of retro work done. So there's economic reasons there that social landlords are also taking into consideration things like technology for. And they have multiple communication channels with their tenants. So there's groups, there's different community activities that they run, they've got their websites, there's annual reports that go out, there's newsletters that go out. And so they have a real great reach and relationship with their tenants. So let's look at the core aim of the TECH programme. Well, it really is to further embed the use of technology as an enabler to customer or tenant well-being and independent living across the housing sector. So key enablers for that are to engage with the housing providers and create a support network for them so that they can share ideas and practice and collaborate in the development of practical tools to support the change that's needed. But also vital to this is that housing associations are working closely with their tenants to co-design any redesign or new services. So it's really important that the tenants are involved in identifying priorities, testing solutions and sharing their experiences both within their housing association and wider. A cornerstone in the Tech and Housing programme is our Tech Charter. This is a framework made up of 7 pledges. Each needs to be satisfied in order for technology to be truly embedded within an organisation and embedded so that it is sustainable. It's being endorsed by core organisations within housing as well as the Tech programme and digital health and care. So what have we been doing over the first 6 months? Well, we've been doing a lot of awareness raising about the Tech and Housing programme. So wanting to ensure that housing providers have a clear understanding of how technology can be used as an enabler. There's various different approaches to it, so we need to make sure that there are all different types of level of engagement with tech, whether that is signposting using your website or going all the way to creating your own bespoke platform. We've also been very keen to make sure that our colleagues in health and social care understand the role that housing can make and the advances that housing is making in terms of using technology as an enabler. So that's been a core piece of work. Promoting the Tech Charter amongst housing organisations has been important. 34 have now signed up, which is really encouraging. So those trailblazers have come together to form a tech community, which is a peer support network that shares information, experiences, resources. And although it's in its early days, we had a couple of meetings before COVID, we now have a Teams channel and we plan for that to go from strength to strength. We've also been strengthening relationships between housing, health and care and some of our other key stakeholders within this third sector. So that's really quite critical to make sure that we create that synergy for the tenants' benefit. And we've also been assessing the digital readiness of the housing sector in advance of the move from analogue to digital communications, which will have a huge implication for ward and call systems. In terms of next steps, we really need to now reflect and review and potentially reprioritise in light of housing providers and their tenants' experiences of COVID. There were a lot of very ingenious and quick responsive ways that housing providers amended and changed the way that they delivered their services. And now we need to see what worked, what needs to be kept, what needs to be expanded, where the gaps are in the way that traditionally services had been provided and how they need to be provided now in this new environment that we find ourselves in. We also want to be able to look, of course, at the tech community and how we support it. So one of the things we'll be doing is a series of meetings based on the pledges and consider what practical tools are required and look at developing these for the sector. And of course, we want to have further strengthened relationships with our tech leads and HSCPs so that by working together, we create that synergy that will best help the tenants. So that's been a real whistle-stop tour of tech and housing, but thank you very much for listening and I hope you find it useful. If you would like further details, get involved, sign up to the Tech Charter, then please get in touch with me. My email address is there, gbeg@sfha.co.uk.
Thanks, everybody.